signature athlete, joining Aya Wilson and Sabrina Ionescu, but the first female basketball player with her own logo. The message was clear. Clark wasn't just a star, she was a phenomenon. Nike's $28 million, 8-year bet on her wasn't about one player. It was about building the future of women's basketball around a single name. The WNBA, however, was reeling in her absence. Ratings had collapsed, with the All-Star Game dropping 36% from 3.44 million viewers in 2024 to 2.19 million in 2025. A fever-sky matchup that drew 2.7 million with Clark and Angel Reese tanked without them, networks quietly burying the numbers. The league's historic 2.5 million attendance mark in 2025 rang hollow without Clark's pull, as ticket prices crashed and games shifted to smaller venues. Critics pointed to a deeper issue. The WNBA had leaned too heavily on one rookie, neglecting veterans like Wilson and Breanna Stewart, who deserved more spotlight. Yet, the numbers didn't lie. Clark was the draw, her absence exposing a league that struggled to sustain momentum without her. Fans filled social media with frustration, arguing that the WNBA had failed to market its depth, leaving Clark to carry an unfair burden. The injury crisis plaguing the league only deepened the wound. By late August 2025, 212 injuries had led to 859 missed games, with 10 ACL tears and multiple MCL injuries, including Sophie Cunningham's season-ending torn MCL from a controversial collision with Bria Hartley. The Golden State Valkyries alone reported 27 injuries, a systemic failure that eroded the WNBA's credibility. Clark's groin injury, initially a minor tweak, ballooned into a month-long absence, raising questions about the league's ability to protect its stars. Fans and analysts alike criticized the WNBA for allowing physical play to spiral unchecked, with incidents like Hartley's hit on Cunningham fueling accusations of inconsistent officiating. The Fever's earlier 76-75 win over the Sparks, marred by questionable referee calls, had already sparked outrage from Clark and Sydney Colson, who called out the league's failure to ensure player safety. Amid this chaos, Nike's move was a masterstroke. While the WNBA scrambled to salvage its season, Clark's logo drop dominated headlines, her influence transcending the court. The design process, with Clark hands-on, crafted a narrative of authenticity. Her logo wasn't just branding, it was storytelling. The interwoven CS connected her to fans globally, while the hidden C nodded to her Iowa roots and relentless work ethic. Nikes and Miller called her an exceptional player and ambassador, corporate speak for betting billions on her as the face of women's basketball. The announcement came with a slick commercial, amplifying the hype, and fans lined up around Dick's Sporting Goods stores, camping out for her sold-out Kobe sneakers. A collaboration with Stanley for a CC-branded tumbler only added to the mania, with social media buzzing about the most electrifying woman in basketball, turning everyday items into must-haves. The Fever, meanwhile, fought on without her, their resilience a testament to their depth. Boston's dominance in the paint, with 22 points and 11 rebounds against the Sparks, and Mitchell's 38-point explosion against the Sun showed a team refusing to break. Hull's leadership, despite her battered face, and Odyssey Sims' clutch 21 points in the Sparks game proved the next woman up ethos was more than a slogan. Coach Stephanie White's rotations emphasized grit and defense, turning every possession into a battle. Yet, Clark's absence was a constant shadow. Her pre-injury stats, 19 points, 8 assists, had stretched defenses, creating lanes for Boston and open looks for Mitchell. Her return, now imminent as she hit jumpers in practice, promised to elevate Indiana from survivors to contenders. The contrast was stark. While the WNBA struggled, Nike was building an empire around Clark. Her logo wasn't just merchandise. It was a warning to a league that had failed to protect its biggest asset. Fans, frustrated by the WNBA's reliance on one player, saw Clark's deal as validation of her unmatched impact. She generated $36 million in economic activity for Indianapolis, $52.3 million for Iowa, and 26% of the WNBA's 2024 revenue. 1 out of every 6 tickets sold league-wide was tied to her name. As one analyst put it, she's Magic Johnson and Larry Bird combined. No one else moves the needle like this. The WNBA's veterans, despite their talent, couldn't match her draw, and Nike's investment, Jordan-level money, underscored the gap. While players wore "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts at All-Star Weekend, Clark's deal dwarfed their career earnings, a harsh reminder of her singular status. The psychological toll on the league was palpable. As Clark's logo collection prepared to launch, other players faced the reality of her shadow. Her return would fill arenas with 15,000 fans wearing her merch, chanting her name, while Nike's campaigns would outshine the WNBA's own marketing. The league's failure to protect her, allowing injuries to pile up and physical play to go unchecked, had left it vulnerable. Clark's groin injury, poorly managed, and the broader injury crisis, 859 games missed, exposed a systemic issue. The WNBA couldn't sustain its stars. Yet, Nike saw no such limits, positioning Clark for global domination with a brand that would outlast her playing days. As Clark stepped back into practice, hitting threes and running drills, the buzz grew. Coaches, cautious after her 17-game absence, gave no firm return date, but her progress was undeniable. Fans posted clips of her shootarounds, captioned, "She's back," fueling hope that she'd play before the season's final 5 games. With Indiana in 6th, a half game ahead of Seattle, her return could reshape the playoff picture. Her court vision and shooting would force defenses to adjust, amplifying Boston's post-play and Mitchell's scoring. Sims' poise and Hull's grit had kept the Fever afloat, but Clark could make them a dark horse. The logo drop wasn't just a celebration, it was a coronation, signaling that Clark had transcended the WNBA's chaos to become its undisputed queen. This moment was a turning point. The WNBA, battered by injuries and criticism, faced a reckoning. Clark's absence exposed its weaknesses, but her return promised to rewrite the narrative. Nike's bet on her wasn't just about sneakers or t-shirts, it was about building a legacy that could carry women's basketball into a new era. As the Fever fought for a playoff spot, Clark's logo stood as a reminder. She wasn't just a player, she was a phenomenon, and the league would never be the same.